Hello, and welcome back to the Death and Grief Talk podcast. I'm your host, Joelle Maldonado, and I'm also known as the Grave Woman. When someone passes away, having memorial keepsakes such as keychains, cups, jewelry, t-shirts, programs, headstones, and grave markers, along with other items that reflect the essence, personality, and image of the individuals that we've lost, brings a level of peace and comfort that is very hard to explain. Traditionally, in the death care industry, companies and corporations that provide these memorial keepsakes, in addition to other items and merchandise available for purchase in funeral homes and online by consumers, have been historically white. Today, I have the honor of speaking with Latifah Franks of C. Jackson Memorial Company. C. Jackson Memorial Company, fondly named after her mother, Cassandra Jackson, who passed away when Latifah was 10 years old, was born out of Latifah's desire to not only serve her community and provide beautiful professional keepsakes and memorial items, but to also honor her mother's legacy. And Latifah, let's just jump right in. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You are the CEO of C. Jackson Memorial Company. How did you get started? What do you do? And just tell us all about yourself.
Okay, so again, I'm Latifah. I'm the owner of C. Jackson Memorial Company. I got started my business because I realized I was passionate about end of life care through my work at Gilchrist Hospice as a hospice aide. And I didn't really realize at the time I was 10 years old when I lost my mom. My mom is C. Jackson, she's Cassandra Jackson. So thinking back on it now that I'm older, I kind of provided that type of care for her. I was losing her and I didn't even realize that she was dying because I was only 10 years old. So our whole life changed. Like, we lived by ourselves. She went blind. We had to live with my grandmother. We had a pretty good life together and she got sick. So it seemed like everything just happened so fast. And I realized as I got older that my passion and my love for caring for others came from caring for her. So I worked for Gilchrist Hospice for 6 years and got pregnant with my twins. And I went and asked my boss, hey, I just had twins. I need some more money. And they weren't really willing to offer me more money. So I quit. And from there, I was just, a stay-at-home mom, and I tried to figure things out. I had premature babies and they were really tiny. They couldn't fit any headbands. So I got a sewing machine and I started making them little headbands and skirts. And from there, I would just post pictures of them when they're little stuff, and other people wanted to buy the things that I made for my kids. So from there, I got a Cricut machine and I added t-shirts into the headbands and skirts. From there, I bought a laser, my first laser, and I made kids puzzles and things like that. But then I realized, lasers were becoming the new Cricut machine. Like everybody was getting them and all doing the same thing. So I realized, you can't go wrong with following your passion. So nope. So I decided to do that. I took a year, I did my research, and I said, you know what? I want to work back in the death care industry. I didn't know exactly what it was I wanted to do. And I took some time. I really wasn't making money because I was so, what's the word I'm looking for? So focused and dedicated to working on things that I was passionate about. I didn't want to just work for money, and I didn't want to be looked at as a crafter, like as I'm just doing a hobby. I wanted a real actual business. So I wanted to also honor my mother and help other people honor their loved ones. And I decided to get into this. So right now I provide end of life hand casting services. We do laser engraved urns. We have headstones, memorial jewelry, pet memorials. What else do I offer? Different memorial apparel. I could make different hoodies and different types of memorial gifts. And I also still do my laser engraving, but it's not my primary focus. People still come to me for it because I built a little community in my city. People know that I offer certain services and they'll come to me for those services. So I'll have promotional products. I make different signs for other business owners in my community. And that's pretty much it. I want to continue to work with keeping my mother's name alive. That's really important to me.
That's so beautiful. And I love the fact that your business is based on legacy. Obviously, even though you were 10 years old, your mother's presence and losing her had a very strong impact on you. And as a professional working in the death care industry, many of the times when I'm looking for personalized keepsake items, many of the vendors, honestly, that I've worked through or had to work through have been Caucasian. There aren't very many Black-owned, reputable keepsake memorial options. So kudos to you for offering those. So correct me if I'm wrong, you're not a mortician or a funeral director. You just have a passion for providing personalized items to those that are grieving.
Correct.
What was your first keepsake that you created for a grieving family?
My first keepsake I created was for my son. It may be in my office, I'm not sure. But my first keepsake I created was for my son. My son lost his dad to suicide when he was 5 years old. So we kind of shared that connection with, the loss of a parent, because I went through it firsthand. I just put myself in his shoes a lot. And, growing up, I didn't have people give me things that remind me of my mother or honor her or keep her memory alive. So I just try my best to make sure that my son feels his dad's presence. And sometimes I kind of overwhelm him with things because I just don't want him to ever feel like I felt. So my first thing I made was it was a LED light for my son with his dad's picture, and he loved it.
He loved it.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you want your families to feel when they open a piece of mail or come pick up their keepsake? What feeling do you want them to feel when you present them with their keepsake for their loved one?
I want them to feel happy. I want them to feel some type of joy, or remember positive things about their loved one when they get these gifts from me. Because that's how, literally anything I make for myself with my mother on, I'm like, so I want them to feel the same way. I love anything with her on it, her name, her picture, her face. I love it. So I will hope that they're feeling the same way.
Is that your mommy behind you?
That's my mother.
Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful woman. So tell me about what's next for C. Jackson Memorial Company. What are you getting into next?
So I plan on getting a bigger location for my business, kind of like a more of a brick and mortar type of feel, and just continuing to grow and providing my services to people in my community and all over, but mostly my community. I know I've had a lot of deaths in my family, and there's a lot of people out here that still have the little generic box that the urns come in. I'm not sure whether people aren't aware that they could get affordable, beautiful urns at a good price. I'm not sure why they don't have one, but I want to be able to provide things to the people in my community at a reasonable price with a flexible payment plan as well, to those who can't afford it.
So you say into your community, are you only providing services and keepsakes to those in the Baltimore, Maryland area, or do you ship internationally?
Yeah, I ship all over. I just shipped out of Headstone to California yesterday, but there's really not too many people in my community that look like me that provide these services. So in my community, all of the monument companies have been around for centuries. We only have one Black-owned monument company that I'm aware of in Baltimore. The rest of them are pretty big and they're family-owned, and they've been passed down from generation to generation. So they're not letting you get in and learn anything. I had to really just figure everything out by myself.
Right.
So no, I don't only work with my community, but my goal is to, be of support to the people in my community.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Where can listeners find out about you and your services and what you offer, and possibly order their own keepsakes to continue the legacy and memory of their loved ones?
They could find me on Instagram. They could find me on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. All of my pages are the same, C. Jackson Memorial Company.
Awesome. Do you have you participated in any funeral service conventions or conferences?
Not as of yet. I would like to.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing you at a conference in the future.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Death and Grief Talk podcast. If you'd like to learn more about The Grave Woman, feel free to visit our website, www.thegravewoman.com. Live life, love hard. We'll talk to you next time.